Okay, we're going to do a lesson today on purchasing a used vehicle. So just to remind you, the one that we did first was purchasing a new vehicle. And then when you buy a new vehicle, it's good to know how much to offer. You take into account the dealer's cost. And then this lesson will be about purchasing a used vehicle. So what do you need to know if you want to purchase a car that's used? You want to know the value. Okay, so you have Kelly's Blue Book, which you can use to get the value of the car, and then that way you have an idea. So if you're buying a car, you should know about how much should I pay. And if you're selling a car, you want to know, well, how much should I get for this car? And they call it the average retail price of the car. So how much should you buy it or sell it for? And the formula is the retail value of the car. And if it has options like a sunroof, power windows, extras like that, you add that because that increases the value. If it doesn't have the options, then you subtract it, and then you have to take into account the miles. So obviously when you buy a new car, it doesn't have any miles, but if you buy a used car, the miles can vary. It can have a few miles, it can have a lot of miles. So the more miles it has, the lower the value, and vice versa. If it has a little bit of miles, then the value goes up. So you have to adjust the price for that. So I'll send you a copy of the notes. Okay, so you're going to first write the formula, and everything will be given to you. So you just have to know, okay, you start off with the average retail value, and then you decide if you add or subtract. So if it has additional options, so additional, you add. Deduction, if you might have to subtract, you have to subtract it if there's options that it doesn't have. So if you have options, deductions, you subtract. If it has too many miles, then a deduction is also something that you subtract. Okay, so pretty much with this formula, you'll be able to calculate the average retail price for all the problems. Okay, so let's look at an example. So Jackie wants to purchase a used car, and it says that the price is $15,450. It does not have AC, but it does have power seats, a premium sound system, leather seats, and a power sunroof. So, and it gives you the miles, 51,670. Okay, so the used vehicle guide, which is something like Kelly's Blue Book, tells you that you should subtract 575 if the miles are from 45,000 to 52,500, which they are. So you're going to have to subtract that off of the price. So the question is, what average retail price should Jackie keep in mind? Because you want to pay a fair price. So if you're buying the car, you don't want to overpay. Okay, so here's the information. It's a V8. The price that they want to sell it for is $15,450. It doesn't have AC, but it has all of these other things. So according to the Blue Book or the used value guide, you have to subtract 575 because of the miles that it has. So then we're going to use the information on page 321. So if you go to your textbook, page 321, it tells you for each thing that it has or it doesn't have, how much should you add or subtract. So deduct means subtract, then add, well, it means add. Okay, so we'll go to the car. So it has no AC. Okay, that's the first one. So right here it says without air conditioning, the AC, you're going to subtract $800. And then it has power seats. Okay, so you go to power seats, you're going to add 125. And then it also has a premium sound system, so that adds 200. It has leather seats, that adds 340, and it has a power sunroof. Power sunroof, 450. Okay, so you're just gonna add, everything's gonna be added. The only thing that you subtract was the air conditioning, and that would be 800. So everything else you add. So it tells you that the average retail value, it's right here, is, okay, you have to look for the type of car. So this one is a V8 4-door. Okay, so V8 4-door would be 14,675. That's the average retail value. Then you add all the options. And finally, you subtract the mileage. So for the mileage, you subtract the 575. And for the air conditioning, that's something that you subtract, so the 800. Okay, so again, you get the average retail price, the average retail value, and that would be the 14,675. You deduct the air conditioning as well as the miles. It tells you right here that for the miles, you're going to deduct 575 or subtract. It's the same thing. Okay, so those two things were subtracted, and then all the other things that it has, like the power seats, premium sound system, leather seats, and power sunroof, all those things will be added. It says add. So when you put it all together, it looks like this. So the average retail value plus all the options minus the no AC and minus the miles. So although they say the car has a price of $15,450, a fair price to offer would be the $14,415. So that's what that car is worth, considering that it has these miles and it has these options with no AC. Okay, so just to review, you start with the average retail value, add any options. So that's going to vary. Some cars have a lot of options, some don't have too many. And then subtract any deductions for the options. And then if necessary, you also subtract the mileage. And then that's it.